All right, well, it's time for ball position. You know, ball position, I don't think gets enough attention. Where that ball sits in relation to our bodies is vitally important for our ability to consistently strike the ball solid, straight, far, high. You can't hit it correctly until you have the ball in the right place, not consistently. Imagine this, you know, one of those robotic, the swing robots that all the companies use in order to test their equipment. Perfect, robotically perfect. The club bottoms out exactly where the ball is with exactly the amount of loft it has to have in order to hit a perfect shot with whatever club you strap into that machine. A perfect swing, which is something that's not possible for us humans, a perfect swing could not hit a good shot if you simply took the ball and moved it from the position it's in, that the machine, the perfect swing, is calibrated to, and moved it either forward one ball length or back one ball length. It would top it, it would shank it. You move it 2 ball lengths, it would completely miss the ball. So pay attention to ball position, because this subject is actually really important. Going to make it as quick as I can, but there is a little detail in explaining ball position. Where I start for the explanation as to why do I recommend people put the ball where I'm about to demonstrate to you you should put it. Well, it begins with the way every golf club is manufactured. When you look at a golf club, it has a sole on the club, the bottom part, the flat part that sits on the ground. When represented by sitting on my hand, when the club is sitting with the sole of the club flat on the ground, well, that means that it has the appropriate amount of loft that this club was built with. In other words, this being a pitching wedge in my hand, that now has 46 degrees of loft while it sits flat on the ground. What you'll mainly notice is that the shaft of the club is leaned a little bit forward. As you go up the bag, and here I just took a photograph of a set of irons where what you'll notice is the top part, the grips of the club are all in the exact same location. And then what you'll notice is as the clubs get longer, and as you go from the pitching wedge all the way up to, in this set, that's a 5 iron, that the heads of the clubs have to progress forward to keep the sole of the club flat on the ground. Now, how does that relate to your golf swing? Well, there I can demonstrate. On the ground in front of me, you can see that there are 4 golf balls. What I recommend is that with short clubs, like your wedges up through potentially your 9 iron, that you keep the back of the ball dead centered with in your stance, or more primarily with your sternum. So you want it in the center of your body. The back of the ball being centered with your body leaves the bulk of the ball forward in your stance. That's a pitching wedge in my hand there. As I go to the middle clubs, okay, so I'm going to back up and grab a 7 iron. You'll notice I put it's 1 ball length ahead of the centered position. That's your mid iron. So then you're probably getting into like your 8 iron, your 7 iron, and your 6 iron. Then you move the ball 1 position forward to accommodate those clubs so that they can be hit correctly. As you get down to the next category, you're going to move the ball even 1 more, and that means your long irons or a hybrid, maybe even a 7 wood or 5 wood would be in this position. So then I'm going to go 1 more ball forward as I get to that longer club again to accommodate the correct position. And then all the way up to the driver, when you go 1 more ball position with the driver, I got to back up a little bit, but just so you can see the point. Then I go 1 more ball position farther, because the driver is the club with the least amount of loft, and therefore the least amount of shaft lean at impact. It would almost be vertical. So what does that mean for your entire golf swing? The reason that I like to move the ball positions slightly forward as you go through the bag is that if you look, and I mean classically, go Google any golfer that you like that plays the PGA Tour or the LPGA Tour, professional golfer, and throughout history you'll see a lot of similarity between what that position looks like. So if I put a wedge down, for example, this position will look familiar to you. The hips are turned in, the weight is transferred, the lead arm is straight and flat as you hit the golf ball, but dominantly you got shaft lean. There's this amount of shaft lean because it's a wedge, and that's delivering the correct amount of loft. As I pick up, trying not to drop everything, as I pick up a 7-iron, because I've moved the ball forward, it allows my swing to, if you look at it at what my body looks like, my body doesn't have to change, so I can swing with one swing, deliver my arms, hands, and body in exactly the same component. And then now by moving the ball forward, I still delivered the club with the appropriate amount of loft, and on it goes. As I get to that 5-iron and I get up to this position, I don't have to change my swing for each club. I can have the same swing all the time, like that robot does, but still deliver the appropriate amount of loft as I hit the golf shot, all the way through wedges, through driver. That sameness will create a lot of consistency in your golf swing. Okay, so I hope that helps to explain ball positions. There's a lot of teachers, and good Lord, there's controversy all over our world about any subject that you bring up. But so there's varying opinions on where ball positions are. You're watching my video, so that's mine. There you go. I'm not saying you're dead wrong if you do something else, but just commit to at least a process of getting the ball in the same place with all the various clubs in your bag. If the ball's in a different place all the time, you are cooked. If the ball gets in a different place, you have to change your golf swing in order to accommodate where that golf ball is. So mentally, we're right back to that teacher, man. She's going to smack you on the hand with that ruler if you put the ball in the wrong ball position. The blessing part of that is, if ball position is the only thing you have to worry about. So when you're working on it, once again, work on ball position, right? You can combine ball position and alignment at the same time, because you're going to use the same two sticks. From this vantage point, you can see I've added a stick. I still have the one at my feet that indicates alignment, and then I put another one, just making a cross to put it to show me where ball position is. Again, our perceptions can so often skew what it is we're seeing. I've had so many students put the ball, 3 ball positions back in their stance, and I said, hey, can you put that ball in the middle? And they'll go, what are you talking about? That is in the middle. So they're not lying. It's just their perception kind of tells you that's where it is. If you're trying to keep the ball in the middle of your stance, if you do not see the same amount of grass or turf splitting that stick in half, then you're not in the middle, right? As you move up to that driver, you can leave the stick. You can leave the stick here and just make sure that you're about 3 more ball positions out in front and just off your left heel. I see some people actually move the stick to the various ball positions. If you're more meticulous, absolutely fine. Just use the stick so it'll tell you the truth instead of letting your perceptions tell you. Maybe it's right, but gosh, often it isn't. So I love putting that down as well. On the spiritual side of things, it's the same speech. Results are the devil, right? If you have to figure out how to hit it good today, then you might put the ball anywhere in your stance as long as that worked. If you stick it way back in your stance and you hit it good, you go, well, that's it. That's the way I do it. One more time. Yes, you can hit a golf ball correctly that way. You can hit a golf ball and it's pleasing and stuff. When you're off of the standards for what has created really good golf shots, really good, consistent golf shots for hundreds of years, not just a little while, then you're going to have to make compensations in order to hit it good. Compensations lead to inconsistent golf shots. You're going to get your most consistent the more traditionally correct I can get your positions, particularly at impact. So dedicate to ball position. I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but you are almost there. In building your house, we're almost ready to start throwing some wood down and some plumbing, and then eventually we're going to get to paint it and pick the brick colors and throw in the hot tub and the big screen TV. And the golf simulator room, I would highly recommend. It's a hoot. But go to work on ball position, ignore the results. Even if you hit it better by sticking it back in your stance or forward in your stance, that's not the point. Your grade from that teacher only comes from being in proper ball position. All right, we'll see you on the next one.